Here's another one of my helpful hints. It's called the times table or the multiplication table. And we recommend that you memorize this. In the olden days, I say olden, a number of years ago, you were required to memorize the times table. And you say, well, gee, in this generation, we don't need a times table because I have a handy dandy little cell phone, which I can do a calculation on, or I have a little calculator. But you don't know that the times table serves two functions. One is it saves time, and you say, well, why does it save time? Whatever your calculations are, let's suppose it's 7 times 8, and you know what it's 56. And if you didn't know that, you'd have to pull out your cheat sheet and look down and say, oh yeah, 7 times 8, okay, it's 56. Oh, and then there's another piece of calculation that you'd have to do, and 6 times 6 is 36, and so you write that down. All the time, you're wasting seconds, and you say, well, gee, that's only 1 or 2 seconds. But when you have 10 questions on a test, and they all involve calculations, those seconds add up to minutes. And I have very few people finish a math test on time, and if they do, they go back through and check. And we've discussed that about checking, take your answer and plug it back into the equation. So and if you don't believe that, try doing your cheat sheet, if they'll allow you to take a cheat sheet into a testing room, or a calculator. Now, a lot of times the calculator is one that they will give you because it doesn't have anything on it but a multiplication, division, adding, and subtraction. And that takes time. And let's suppose you need this multiplication, and you get your little calculator and punch it in. All this takes seconds. Now try it sometime, add up the number of seconds, and then multiply that times the number of problems that you're going to have to solve. Now, in a very sophisticated test, you walk into the testing room, they'll give you a sheet with the questions and one blank sheet of paper. And what that is, you have no other means of doing calculations unless you memorize the times table. If you don't, then you're going to be really counting on your fingers. And by the way, counting on your fingers is a sure sign that somebody missed out on the education in mathematics. I was getting some glasses repaired, and this lady was counting on her fingers when she added up what my bill was. I could hardly believe that she would do that. That's a sure sign that you lack something in education. You were behind the door when the mathematics were distributed. So, times table, two functions, saves time in math tests, and in the future, when you get out into the real world, and let's suppose you work as a carpenter, and the owner of a carpentry shop or some supervisor out on the job, he's always looking for somebody who can advance. Let's suppose you have 3 people, yourself and 2 others. He's always looking for the best, and if the best shows that they have a knowledge of mathematics, that person is the one that's going to be something more than the general old flunky who does odd things for the carpentry field. So learn the times table. It'll enhance your business ability. No finger counting, and but let me stress, times table is very, very important. Now, I had a 50-year-old lady that was going for a GED, and she took three tests in the mathematics and failed them. And then the head of the of the tutoring asked me if I would take this lady on and show her. She ultimately passed the math test and became valedictorian of her GED class. So that was a real plus. And by the way, when you're sitting in a GED class, though your classmates are your competition out in the real world, when you look at the person, you say, that's my competition. By golly, he seems to be smart about this, that, or the other. It's your obligation to be better than him, because you guys are going to be, and gals are going to be, competing in the real world job market. Thank you.